Hey guys, Playtendo Guy here, and today I'm bringing you my review of Ratchet and Clank. The reboot of the PS2 classic is finally here, but is it any good? Let's find out. Ratchet and Clank marks the first time the series has arrived on the PS4, and the first time I've played a game in the series. Ratchet and Clank is a reimagining of the PS2 original and is here to mainly tell the origins of the two heroes of the title for the launch of their new movie. So this game is based on the new movie, which in turn is based on a game. It's kinda confusing, but the game has plenty of fun with it, referencing it quite a few times. The game tells a basic but enjoyable story of Ratchet, a Lombax who works as a mechanic and dreams of being a part of Captain Quirk's Galactic Rangers, and Clank, a robot defect of the game's villain Drex, who escapes on a ship but it crash lands. Ratchet finds Clank and saves him seconds before the ship explodes, and they join forces to warn the Galactic Rangers about Drex's plan. They end up joining the Rangers and must stop Drex's evil plan altogether. The story is your basic you can be anything you want to be type of story, but the script is where the game's story is really appealing. The whole story is narrated by Quirk as he's telling a new inmate how he first met Ratchet and Clank. Thing is, being narrated by a character is fine, but Quirk is such a funny character as a whole, as he has such a big ego, his retelling of the story will include many laughs. The game as a whole is certainly high on jokes, from the humour for kids to even the nudge humour for adults. The game doesn't take itself too seriously, and I like it for that. Ratchet and Clank is primarily a 3D action platform, and you basically explore a dozen or so planets, fighting enemies, looking for collectibles, jumping around and obviously progressing through the story. Unlike most 3D platformers, Ratchet and Clank has a big focus on combat, mainly its guns. The guns in the game aren't your hard-hitting realistic guns that you may be used to with other games, but imaginative and rather creative and colourful guns that are just a joy to use. There are plenty of guns to choose from your standard blaster to the zany and over-the-top sheepinator that turns your enemies into sheep, to the pixelator that turns your enemies into 8-bit sprites. Each and every gun in the game can be leveled up, and each gun has its own individual skill tree, which offers a fairly large amount of upgrades for each and every gun. For all that platforming and shooting, there is some different gameplay types here that regularly show up. You have your spaceship levels, which act a bit similar to Star Fox, where you fly around a level and shoot loads of enemies, to the hoverboard racing levels, which are a fun distraction. There are also some levels where you play as Clank, where you have to solve some fairly simple puzzles and fight some enemies. All these different gameplay types are a welcome addition to the game, and they do add a nice bit of variety. The game's budget price of £30 will probably put some folks off by thinking the game isn't very long, but actually the game is a pretty decent length at around 8 to 10 hours if you play straight through, to 15 plus hours if you want to find all the collectibles and explore everything. When you complete an area and killed all the enemies, and if you need to go back to find a collectible, you'll notice the levels are a bit empty of enemies. It's a little niggle, and one I hope they fix in a future update. Once you complete a game, you'll get a new Game Plus mode that will unlock, and you will go through the game again with all your upgrades and that, but this time you'll face tougher enemies, which is pretty good, as the game is a wee bit easy for the average gamer, but for kids it will offer a decent challenge. Like most games these days, there's plenty of collectibles. You have 28 golden bolts that will unlock various skins, artwork and graphic options, to even a collectible card set which features characters from the whole of the Ratchet series. They're fun little collectibles, and I guess fans will lap it up. There's also another card collection that, if you get all them, unlocks a special weapon called the Rhino, so the game has some longevity if you want this. Music-wise, the game features a catchy upbeat soundtrack to go with the lively nature of the game. The voice acting is solid, featuring a great voice acting cast that certainly brings life to the characters, especially the guy who voices Captain Quirk, who certainly sounded like he had a lot of fun recording for the game. Presentation-wise, the game is absolutely gorgeous, with stunning graphics that honestly make it look like you're playing a Pixar game. It's that good. Levels are insanely detailed, with backgrounds full of detail and things going on. Sometimes I just stand there and just watch and marvel how beautiful the game looks. Honestly, it's one of the best, if not the best looking PS4 games out there. Now time for the conclusion. Ratchet and Clank is a welcome return for the beloved franchise, and this action platform is certainly what the PS4 was lacking. The game is a massive big bit of fun and is incredibly enjoyable from start to finish. With a funny script and a fairly long story mode, Ratchet and Clank stands tall as one of the best games on PS4, and with that I'm going to give the game a brilliant 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my review. Like, rate and subscribe, and keep on gaming. Bye!